Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
$196, and this is the last episode of April, so that means everything going forward until the end of May is the big month.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that? Well, the most important reason is my birthday month. That's the most important
And my
thing.
birthday month ends. I'm
Right.
gonna be like Emmy.
My
And my birthday month.
my birthday month kills her birthday month off. Natural selection. And we'll be at the parks this coming weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, for my birthday, which is on Saturday,
the 6th.
May 6th, and we'll actually be there on May 7th as well.
Yes.
So if you guys want that Grogu wallet, we still have it. The first people who come and approach us about it will win it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have a lot of opportunity because we're staying on Disney property and we're going to be there for 2 days. So no excuses. A lot of time. I know sometimes we get to the parks late and people are like, oh, man, you guys didn't get here, super early, so we're taking a nap or we're doing this or we're at dinner. And it's like, well, now you got 2 days. We're going to be there early because we're actually getting up there Friday night.
Oh, yeah, we are.
So, yeah. So we'll be there 2 days solid, and we're not leaving till Monday.
Yes.
So there you go. The second thing is this is the culmination of the Chalk Podcast Mics for Magic fundraiser,
Mm-hmm.
and which coincides with the end of Splash Mountain at Disneyland, which is on the 30th.
Yes.
So everybody who's involved, everybody who hasn't been involved, we encourage everybody to come out on May 30th to Disneyland and join us for the goodbye to Splash Mountain and the end of our fundraiser for Children's Hospital of Orange County.
Yes.
So, obviously,
Come meet us. Meet other podcasters.
meet us. We might even have some goodies for some people we're working on. And we do have a fundraising booster campaign that we're doing that we will announce tomorrow. Today is Saturday, and we just kind of didn't want to cross-traffic it with the giveaway that we currently have going on, which ends tonight, which is for the Loungefly Princess Silhouette backpack. Again, you can wear it as a crossbody as well if you just switch the straps around. And that ends tonight. And so if you're listening to this on Sunday, you're too late. But we've been announcing this all month. Today is the last day, 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this backpack, it's pretty cool. It's Loungefly, black, very unique looking. And if you enter the contest, it does not exclude you from entering any other contest. So
yes. Or if you win this contest, doesn't
or
it?
if you win,
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. Just go ahead and enter. And all you have to do is direct message us. Where would your if you could come up with a new Disney prince or princess, where would they be from? What and we've got some pretty cool answers. There are no really wrong answers. I mean, if you say that you want them to be from Mars, hey, that's unique. They probably will do a Disney cartoon on Mars at some point. And yes, I mean,
Astronaut princess.
Yeah, it could be anywhere. So any country, usually, Disney princesses are from particular parts of the world, or at least fictional representations of different parts.
Yeah.
Like Arendelle is like Nordic, but it's not really a place.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If you want to make up a place, that's fine. If you want to make up a region, or if you're from a real region, look, we're not going to be picky. We're not going to. This isn't like some background check. you can just. We just do the questions just so people engage with the podcast. So have some fun with it. We want this to be fun. It's not another test. It's not something to stress you out on top of your work week. All right. And again, this ends tonight, Saturday, at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you can direct message us your answer to your prince or princess question to Facebook Instagram, or email it to us at info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. For every medium that you use to enter, you will get an entry. So you have a maximum of 3 entries if you use all 3. Must be 18 years or older and live in the United States. All right. So, as I said already, tomorrow, I don't know if I said it was tomorrow, but tomorrow will be Sunday, we'll be announcing some other stuff, which is tied to the Chalk fundraiser and
Our 200th.
And our 200th episode, which is also in May.
Yes.
So we have those 3 important things in this order: my birthday, the Chalk fundraiser, and our 200th episode.
Yes.
And yeah. And then we're still going to have a regular giveaway on top of that, plus a special giveaway, plus something for Chalk. So there's going to be 3 big things going on as far as goodies you can get your hands on. And we still got the Grogu wallet. And if somebody finds us with the Grogu wallet, we'll have another wallet the next time we're there.
Yes.
So technically, I'm thinking we might want to just bring another, because if somebody finds us on Saturday, we should probably have another one for Sunday, right? So
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I
it's,
suppose.
yeah. Well, we told everyone, and every day we're there, we'll have something, unless
Yeah.
somebody finds us for that day. So if we're there 2 days in a row, it is what it is. All right. So lots of stuff, lots of things to get excited about. Go to either our Instagram page. You can go to the link for the Chalk fundraiser and go directly to the donation page. Donate whatever you can. I think you can donate as little as $1. I'm not sure I don't think there's a minimum.
Nope.
And you can go to podcast Mics for Magic if you want to get the more scenic tour, but still go to the same link. None of these things give money to us, Johnny or Hannah. It goes directly to the foundation, so you don't have to worry about money passing hands. No Venmo, no Cash App or anything like that. This is their site. They rely 100% on fundraisers and donations, so they're very much set up to do that and to handle that money. Legitimate 501c3. And a very famous hospital. I mean, they're an actual hospital. So it's not like you're donating to something that goes to
You don't see, yeah.
and it's 100% goes to the foundation. It's not administrative fees, so you're not like paying for some CEO's new whiskey cabinet or something. So,
And you'll get a receipt and everything.
Yeah.
So.
And for those of you who are going to take part in our little Chalk fundraiser, make sure you save that receipt. You can get to it even after you donate, but I suggest, and this is just general knowledge for any time you donate, just for tax purposes, just save the receipt. Even if you take a screenshot of it.
Yeah,
whatever.
screenshot it. Yeah.
Yeah. Most places will send you an email, but a lot of places will, after you donate, they'll give you like a confirmation number or whatever. Just save that. Because it could come in handy. All right. So I think that's it for giveaway news. What do we got next?
Well, we didn't talk about our day at Disney on this last Saturday, April 22nd.
Yeah.
On our last podcast because we were behind and we were talking about the time before. So we just wanted to a little bit talk about how our day went on the 22nd. We met up with one of our Nora Calarati friends, super fans, Erin, and her family. And Erin made this really cool apron for us.
2 aprons.
2 aprons that said Taste Talk RDK on it. And you guys all know how we do our Taste Talks. I did put up a story about it. It disappeared, but I did put up a story.
Yeah.
And
When we will repost it.
Yeah, it's like a denim apron with the
really
Taste
cool.
Talk. And Brian's, the one on his on the back of his had that guacamole, avocado, hocus pocus guacamole.
Hocus Pocus guacamole, which is a
So-
curse. It's the same as the Avada Kedavra in Harry Potter. It's the killing curse because avocados are disgusting. But she put it on the inside of my thing just to try to restrain my power, as is the will of the NorCalorati. They try to do that. They don't want any of us to get, too ahead of ourselves, get our heads too big. So they restrain my power, but it's fair. We are still allies.
Yes, they made us a T-shirt too that said
Yeah.
NorCalorati
Yeah.
on it.
We posted that a while back. but
Yeah.
They're very creative and very powerful.
So we enjoyed that. We got to meet Aaron's family, so that was cool.
Yeah. Very cool bunch. It was really nice meeting them. And yeah, speaking of Erin, she's one of our original super fans.
Yeah.
So, and I know I talked a little bit at the beginning of this episode about something special we're going to be doing, in the month of May. One of those things is going to be tied to superfans.
Mm-hmm.
So we are actually going to be adding superfans. So don't be surprised if you get a message. As you know, our superfans are basically people who not only just listen to the podcast, but they engage.
Mm-hmm.
They comment on our posts, our stories. They like stuff. They send us messages. They ask questions. Dialogue. They dialogue with other listeners,
Mm-hmm.
and actually they enter giveaways. And it's like, yes, entering giveaways to me is a form of engagement. We get to see a little bit about your lives. We get to talk to you, and that's one of the reasons we started the podcast, is to kind of build a community. Now that community is growing larger, we're connecting with other communities. So this is the Superfan program that we have. You get a special card that will identify you to all authorities as a Rope Dropping Knowledge Superfan. It's gold, and it's probably better than a passport, in my opinion. It can probably get you in and out of all foreign embassies.
I forgot to take a picture of it, but Carrie had her card with her when she came here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She showed it to me, and
Yeah.
we forgot to take a picture of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
She
smart.
carries
It's
it.
smart to do that, because if there is any type of natural disaster or
It's like, wait, I have my
if
card.
you're in a foreign country or something, it will kind of grant you certain privileges that are not afforded to the common rabble. So we are extending that program because since we did our last one, we usually maybe once, twice a year. It's not too often we expand that number. We invite new people as we get new listeners, and we do have a few people that we want to
We did add some last
We
year.
had
before
some
Christmas.
right before Christmas. Yeah, before the Christmas. And I think usually when we do any type of giveaway that's strictly for superfans, we want to make sure that everybody who's engaged with us since our last expansion is included.
Yeah.
So Tracy will be reaching out to you this week if you have been selected. And that's cool. I think we last time we even included a cast member, and then and they are not excluded. I don't typically mention their names because they're cast members, and I don't want Disney. I don't want the mouse to come to my house, and
Although that would be cool.
it would be cool. But I mean, it's like there's protocols, right? There's things that need to be observed. Formalities, so to say, and with the NorCalorati and everything, we do not want to cause any type of international type incidents or any hostilities, I should say. So we want the powers that be to kind of remain in their spots and no one crossing anyone's borders, stepping on anyone's toes, and so yes, we're friendly with everyone. We're Sweden, or Switzerland, or one of them. We're neutral.
They're friendly.
Over your head.
Oh.
Geopolitical stuff.
Come on. They're neutral? Huh?
In World War
Just
II, they
kidding.
were. Yeah. Swiss. Yeah. That's why everyone has Swiss bank accounts. Who, kind of. They used to be untouchable. Now, not so much. Not so much. Um, so yeah.
Yes. So we had a good time. It was the final weekend of the Food and Wine Festival
Mm-hmm.
because it ended on April 25th, but we were there the 22nd. That was the last weekend. And so we enjoyed one or two last things, and we'll talk about one of the beverages that we've enjoyed during the Food and Wine Fest, during Taste Talk. And we pretty much just had a chill day
Pretty chill. I mean,
because we knew we were coming back next week for your
Yeah.
birthday for 2 days.
and,
in a
and the thing
row.
is we already had gone 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So it's like so sometimes when, and this is what I would call pass holder privilege. Like when you have a Magic Key or you have a pass in Florida, you get to the biggest privilege I think about having an annual pass or something of the equivalent is that it gives you the permission to chill at the parks.
Yeah. No
Because
pressure.
There's
to-
no pressure to do anything because I could go there and go on one ride and then just hang out. I could people watch. I could do this, and it's not like I wasted, $150 ticket,
Right,
you
right.
know, or a trip. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like no. I'm just because Disney is one of the best places just to hang out.
Yeah.
And if you're hanging out, you're kind of having a lot of fun. The thing is if you have a 1, 2, or even 3-day ticket, if you're just hanging out, you're wasting a lot of money. If you're not like just getting on all the rides,
Mhm.
doing all the attractions. So that's the best part. And that's one of the things that Chapek hated
Right.
is that we would come and just hang out
Yeah.
and we are just taking up space.
Mhm.
And so that's why, kind of the term unfavorable came about,
Mhm.
and yeah, I'm all about being unfavorable. I'm
Well, yeah, it's a good
great.
value. And because remember when before Magic Keys came out during that time period when there were no annual passes
Mhm.
and no Magic Key was announced yet, we were buying single day tickets,
Mhm.
remember? And we went all day, like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
So we had that pressure that, oh my gosh, we got to, and we weren't used to that because we've never bought a single day ticket before. I mean, a lot of annual pass
I think when we
holders
first
did.
met, we didn't we?
No, we turned that into a pass the first day.
But I think initially it was a ticket, though, wasn't it? Or no?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't remember.
But we did used to go all day,
Yeah.
even when we were. But a lot. And so we were like, oh man. I mean, when our first few times back, we were like, I think we have to train for this because we're not used to staying at Disney all day.
Yeah, I mean, if you walk around, if you have a park hopper and if you go from like rope drop to, I call it drop to pop. So basically rope drop to the fireworks, and you're probably, if you just a normal day there with that amount of time spent, you're going to walk a minimum of 12 miles.
Yeah.
And that's a minimum. And that's if you're taking rest breaks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can walk upwards to 20 miles.
Well, even walking back to the hotel is
Yeah.
lots of steps too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, some people can walk 20.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not even including hotel. I mean, just in the parks,
yeah.
Because some people just don't stop. And I'm just like, I don't know how,
Yeah.
young people.
Yes.
But,
Young people can do it. And then that was before Lightning Lane. There was no fast pass, so we just did it organically. Go from one line, because at least with Lightning Lane you can take a rest while you wait for your time to come up. But back before they had that, like right after the reopening, we were just we went with our cousins and we just did every single thing all day.
Yeah.
We did that. At one point they did have the SoCal 3-day special, so we bought that. So
Yeah. I wish they could sell some of those things like on special cards. I know this would be another money grab by Disney, but I would do it because those are the type of things I would really want to like give away if I could. Like, here's a Genie Plus card for
don't
a day.
they have that at Costco, like a 3-day Disney ticket or something?
Oh no, we could buy tickets, I think, but like little things that would make a trip easier, like a Genie Plus
Oh, like a
thing.
Genie Plus card or whatever.
Or like or like an a la carte.
Voucher.
This is good for one a la carte ride, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they should do that, huh?
Yeah. Because for people who have, Magic Keys or annual
Well,
passes,
they are
it would
trying
work.
not to, because the prices are flowy. What do you
Yeah.
call it? So they're trying not to do that because then it locks in the price.
Yeah, it should be like a forever stamp.
Yeah, no, they don't want that. So,
Yeah.
anyways. Yeah, so that was our day. We just had a chill day, and, that's, kind of what we did last Saturday. So on to the first headline is the Walt Disney Company's second wave of layoffs.
Yeah.
So I think they laid off 4,000 more employees last week. So the executive ones are the ones that are noteworthy, I suppose. And it's Disney TV Studios marketing department is being dissolved or was dissolved. And that means that ABC and Hulu will handle their own marketing instead
Right.
of having an overall
Like an umbrella.
shared service kind of thing. So 3 executives were laid off as of that, a result of that. So it's the SVP of marketing, Stephen Melnick, and he was for SVP of marketing for 20th Century or 20th Television, and then Sharon Lieberman, SVP of marketing for ABC, and then Sonia Boris, SVP of marketing for 20th TV Animation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and layoffs, I mean, for executives, it's a little better because it usually doesn't mean that somebody's going to lose their house or something or
Yeah.
anything like that. But for lower level people, even in management, because not all management gets paid a lot,
right.
yeah, it can be devastating, and it's hard, and it's a horrible thing. Companies do it. I went on a whole rant as to why companies do it. It has to do with corporate governance. It's the economy, the way it flows. It just makes certain conditions, and it depends on what your company is, whether it's just a public company that's owned by shareholders, or if it's private, or if it's private equity. It's just different types of entities, and they determine growth and expansion and ROI, which is return on investment, in different ways. And it is an unfortunate byproduct of living in a society that has so much. When things are good, our economic system is great because there's so many opportunities, there's so much money to be had, but when things are a little less good, it's horrible because things can get pulled out right from under you at a moment's notice, and it's kind of like the way it is, and I don't know and I don't want to say it's good or bad. It's just kind of but I would say so somebody who's in the HR space, it's not cool. A lot of people think that executives are just like high-fiving each other when they cut costs, and it's like
No.
it's not really like that. They I don't know, I don't want to put it in the same context of like, oh, an executive suffers as much as somebody who's making $40,000 a year got laid off, and they're really. I'm not saying that that's the case. I don't want to compare the two, but it's not happy all the way around. It's never happy times.
Well, because there's 4,000 that left. These are just we're just naming the executives, the heads of those departments. But if a whole department is getting dissolved, obviously under those execs, a whole bunch of people are being laid off too.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm just saying, even for the executives who are staying, it's not like they're.
Oh yeah, it's not like they're
It's
celebrating.
not like they're ambivalent.
Yeah.
Or they know, and it's just.
It's more work for them now because they have to absorb.
But I'm just
all
saying
that.
that it's not like they don't care about the people who got laid off. It's
Right.
It's just one of those things that it's the way we operate, because we're in a growth model economy, and so if a company's not growing as fast or as large as was expected, it's considered failing, even if they made, billions of dollars, the previous year. If you made it $3 billion, but you were expected to make five, you considered falling short.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with interest rates going up, it's harder to do expansions.
Yeah.
Because again, companies don't have cash as much as people think they do.
Yeah.
When they expand via loans, just
Mm-hmm.
like you would buying a house, or if you have a house, if you want to buy a rental property, you take out a loan, the average person. And that's the same way companies do it. And the reason they do that, and I explained this a little bit, is because having cash is, especially with inflation, is a depreciating asset. Not as bad as a car typically or something, but if inflation goes up, your $1 million could be worth, $900,000 if there's 10% inflation, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you just lost $100,000, for every million that you have. And so if you have billions of dollars, that's a lot of money. And so the smart thing to do is to put it into assets to where you can either improve upon your company or invest in make more money for your company, because ultimately your corporate governance and fiduciary responsibilities demand that you get the highest return possible for your owners, and
Yeah.
in most cases that's shareholders. Like Disney is a publicly traded company, and a lot of people say, well, that's greedy. But then when you think about it, it's like, well, who owns companies like Disney and Amazon and Apple? Well, those are in 401k. So a school teacher owns a part of Apple, for example. And if you're not doing everything you can to get that school teacher the most return on her money, then that affects her pension and her 401k. And so it's not just, I know it's easy to think that it's like, well, no, it's just a bunch of billionaires who want to be trillionaires, and that exists too.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie, that exists too. But everybody's fate is kind of interwoven.
Yeah.
So, if you have parents who are about to retire and you're like, oh, I hope I don't have to like kind of supplement them, because with their 401k, may not be enough, and they probably don't. Most people don't have pensions anymore, and Social Security they can't get till they're 65. There's a lot of people who are like my age, who are Gen Xers, who are like kicking in money to kind of supplement the income of their parents. Now, if they had a better 401k, there was better fiduciary responsibility. They belonged to a company who was very tight with the purse strings.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe did some cost cutting when they had to be. Those people are fine.
Mm.
And so it's even on a micro level of an individual family, sometimes you're like, oh, I'm glad that
Yeah.
they had some good, responsible economic, financial policies and actions, when my mom and dad worked there, because now we don't have to worry about them. And your kids are going to feel the same way about you, no matter how much of millennials they are now. And some of you guys are millennials, so maybe the Zs, they're going to feel the same way, and that's just the way the economy works, for better or worse. So, as I said, I don't think there are going to be many layoffs within
No.
the parks,
Yeah.
because
No,
the
not
parks
at all.
are revenue generating.
Right.
So people who are cashiers, people who are running rides,
Yeah.
people, the reason that they're bringing in
Like
the money.
field cast members, they call it,
Yeah.
aren't affected.
Well, if they're affected, that means the company's in a lot bigger
Yeah,
trouble
yeah,
than we know, because they're revenue generators. So the last people you want to cut are people who are actually bringing in money.
Right. If anything, they're short-staffed on the,
Yeah,
in the parks.
they're short-staffed on that end.
Yeah. So the next batch was the 20th Television and ABC Signature Music Departments. They're consolidating under one 20th TV's EVP and head of music, Jeremy Summers. So therefore, the two companies or segments that are being dissolved had to get rid of a SVP for music for ABC. And then Freeform 2 executives got laid off because Freeform is consolidating under the EVP of Original Programming and Development.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like more like ABC got rid of laid off 4 executives. 20th Century Television, 2 executives. ESPN was kind of the big one. And Russell Wolf, an executive, an EVP, and general manager of ESPN Plus. He was laid off after 26 years with ESPN.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of sad. But maybe, hopefully, he's retiring, or something.
And again, and it's not like I'm ambivalent. Like, the executives are going to be okay.
Yeah, there you go. It's just sad, like, 26 years. Wow.
Yeah.
But
I think of it differently. If I work for 26 years for a company, maybe it's time for me to go.
That's true. That's true. That's why I'm thinking, maybe he's just going to retire.
When I hear of an executive getting laid off after being with a company for 26, 30 years or whatever, my hope for them is, I know they're going to have money. My hope for them is that they have other passions outside of work. And so that's the only reason it's sad is if all they had was work. Right. If they have family, if they have travel, if they have a hobby, if they have different things, maybe they belong to a charity that they want to support, then their mental health should remain intact.
Yeah.
It's people, and I've seen this before who are, I know people who work in their 80s.
Yeah.
And then they get laid off, and I'm just like, what are they going to? Well, hopefully they have grandkids or maybe even great grandkids. At that point, that they can like kind of focus on. It's not really a money issue.
Right. It's
Typically,
an issue of that's what they've done
what they've
since maybe
known.
they were 16. Because if they're boomers, they probably worked since they were 15, 16.
Some since they're 10, 12.
Yeah.
Because that's
Back
just how
then,
it worked back in the
yeah.
day, and, it's just kind of like, I just hope they have other interests and other things that make them happy and other things that give them purpose.
That's when they go proctor exams.
Yeah.
Like how I see at the voting booth, and the exam proctors are retired people, probably just, want an extra job here and there. All the exam proctors are retired, elderly people. You take like the notary exam, the bar exam.
Yeah. I had many projects that I kind of came up with when I was with the County of San Diego that I never got to see pitched or see to fruition. One of the things, and this might be one of the things that I may concentrate, later in life, is I see a lot of older people who don't have a lot of families. I see a lot of foster kids who don't have a lot of families. Like, I think we can connect those 2 generations. I think, there are people who need grandkids. I mean, even in a surrogate fashion.
Yeah.
And be involved in their life, and there are younger people who need guidance.
In Up, like Russell and the grandpa in Up.
Exactly. We could even call it. We'll partner with Disney.
Carl and Russell.
We'll call it the Up program. Yeah, it names itself. We'll partner with Disney, and I see it. There is this guy who lived, not Little Saigon, Orange County, Little Saigon, in San Diego, which is not nearly Little Saigon.
It's called the Saigon District in San Diego.
Saigon District, yeah. And he's just, he's a Vietnamese guy. He's really cool. Back when I knew him, I mean, he's probably passed on now, but he was in his 80s. And unfortunately, he had lost his children in a car accident.
Oh, wow.
So before they were able to have kids.
Yeah.
So that car accident theoretically wiped out 2 generations.
Right.
Because he didn't even get to have a chance.
Yeah.
And then his wife died maybe 5 years before. And the only reason I knew is because he was he would come to community meetings and stuff. And I was community outreach at that point, and really nice guy. And he had all this he fought in the war. He did all these things. He was a mechanic. He was in sales. He had all these skill sets, and then I was younger back then, so I was just like, wow, that's a cool guy. But now I'm thinking well, that guy's a resource. He lives by himself. Let's get him into some type of mentorship program to where you have kids who either don't have parents or come from very dysfunctional parents to where they can't live with them, or even maybe some kids who do live with them
Well, don't
but
they have like
something.
kids go to like nursing homes? They should do that with
Yeah,
foster kids.
they
like have
do-
them visit
it depends on the
nursing homes.
program, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's widespread. I think it's on a institution by institution basis. And
Yeah.
usually those institutions aren't very well funded,
Right.
and they're
right.
very small, so it depends, right? A lot of them are church affiliated.
Yeah, church. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So I think that's a good thing, but it doesn't touch everyone. I think let's
Yeah.
expand on that.
It should expand to,
To where-
foster kids.
Because I
you
think
know.
it solves a lot. I think from a mental health standpoint, even from a physical health standpoint, like if this, if he was with a kid,
Mhm.
like you don't think I would drive them to Disney and pay for it? Like I'd totally be willing to do
remember
that.
that
you know?
story? I don't know if you've seen it, but there is a story of a guy who took on this elderly gentleman.
Mhm.
He's never been to Disneyland, and he's probably in his 80s or 90s.
Oh, yeah,
And he took him to Disneyland, and
Yeah.
then they became great friends. I mean, the guy's probably like 20 something, 30.
yeah,
And yeah, he took, and then now their video went viral on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, now he's just like, you know,
and that's just like the social media like viralness of it, but just
Yeah,
the
but-
time that they spent together in between, like
yeah,
helping each other with his homework. Maybe he could teach this kid another language.
right.
You know what I mean? Just that kind of value. I mean, a lot of us were fortunate to grow up with families where we got all that.
Mhm.
There are hundreds of thousands of kids who don't have that.
Yeah.
Maybe millions if you count the ones who even still in the families that aren't touched by the system.
Right.
And then there are probably just as many elderly people who don't have that ability to pass on their wisdom and are feeling loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you could kill two birds with one stone
Mm-hmm.
if we had more programs like that.
Yeah, just to link the two
So,
together.
yeah. hmm And especially if they're from different communities,
Yeah.
an older Vietnamese guy and a Latino or African American kid. I think
yeah.
that would blow like the expansion of how kids learn.
Yeah.
Kids who've never even been out of their neighborhood.
And it's good to
Yeah.
have, like with foster kids, like you said, for them they never had to deal with an elderly person. It's
Right.
good to have that relationship, you
Mhm.
know.
Right. So I don't know why we went off on this huge tangent, but it's just something I thought of.
Oh, we were thinking of these execs who retire.
Exactly. Yeah. We were-
They need, if they don't have grandkids, maybe they should have.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Which-
that's a good idea.
Which actually got laid off, actually. But yeah.
Oh, so that's the second wave, which was what they said the April bloodbath month period, right? That
Mhm.
wave. So I think
That
I
should
don't
be
know
it.
if there's a third wave, but I think that should be it.
Yeah.
That should reach their 7,000 that they were talking about. So that's that. And then what's interesting is I saw something that said like 10 years ago, BuzzFeed's founder, Jonah Peretti, turned down a $650 million offer from Bob Iger, CEO back then,
Mhm.
for Disney to buy BuzzFeed.
Mhm.
It fell through because the BuzzFeed founder, Jonah, was at some, I think it was Iger invited him to his mansion for a party, a get-together, to kind of for everyone at Disney to meet him,
Mhm.
because eventually they're going to buy this
Right.
company. But then he went up and started doing this dry humor that nobody understood, because BuzzFeed's really like hip and young and
Yeah.
not really conservative like Disney is.
Mhm.
Not like Disney's conservative, meaning like the execs at Disney, right?
Yeah.
So there was this dry humor, and everybody thought it was awkward, and so the deal fell through. But it turns out that it only fell through because what they're saying is Jonah, the founder, said no, we don't want to be a part of Disney.
Mhm.
But I think that was a good call, because I don't think BuzzFeed's culture fits into the Disney culture. BuzzFeed is too, I don't want to say independent. They're not independent. They're getting to be mainstream now, but they're more like non-conforming. I feel like Disney's the corpo, and BuzzFeed's too, even though they're getting
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah.
it just doesn't fit the culture.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, now you have all these things that these creators that are saying, just hashtag why I left BuzzFeed, right?
Yeah,
You see all these
yeah.
people. So now BuzzFeed is considered the Disney.
Yes,
That
yeah.
we don't want to conform with them. They're
Yeah.
too corporate, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's just a generational thing.
Yeah.
They thought Disney was too old school, too stiff, too non inflexible. And now some of their creators who are like in their 20s
Yeah,
are
to
like,
their Gen Zs
BuzzFeed is too, corporate.
yeah,
and
I'm going to go off on my
flexible
own and do my own
stuff.
thing and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that just happens overall. And I think sometimes it's a fit, sometimes it's not. So
Yeah. 10 years ago, yes, BuzzFeed was more like the independent.
yeah, with a cool hip
young-
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're more like the CNN of cool hip kids, I think.
yeah, which is not cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then the last thing is, of course, everybody knows Disney proceeded with a lawsuit against Florida.
Yeah, I mean that one. Again, a lot of people would always ask, "Why isn't Disney suing them?" As soon as all this started, like a year
I
and a
think
half
they were
ago.
just getting all their ducks in a row.
Well, it's not even getting ducks in a row. It's kind of like so when I do investigations, right? Sometimes, and this is any organization I've worked with. Sometimes you'll have management like, we need to get rid of this person, and I'm like, okay, well, what do you have?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of like, well, this person is just rude to other staff members, or this person is, shows up late to work, or, it's stuff that it's not that the stuff doesn't matter, but it's in and of itself, it's small, right? And when something is small, then you have to say, okay, well, have you treated everyone the same way, or is this person just getting on your nerves, right? And also, there should be progressive steps before termination. You need to okay, have you talked to this person about these issues? No, they should just know better. It's like, well, no. You got to address it. How do you even know this person knows they're doing something wrong, right? And then after you talk to them, if they still do it, did you write them up a first time? Did you write them up a second time? And I know a lot of people they don't want to do this. I just want them gone, dude. I'm busy. It's like, but that's not how you do things. Okay, but every step along the way, you can document that this person knew. This person got a document that they knew. They have a plan, and then you're tracking their attendance. Let's say it's an attendance issue. So this person missed, 4 days this month, and then they got written up, and then you track them for another month or two, and then okay, did that continue, or did that differ, or what's the numbers now? Well, if it continued and it even got greater, well, we have that, and by the time you reach to the point of termination, and it doesn't always have to be long. Some people are like, it takes years to terminate somebody. No, man, you could terminate somebody right away if they do something egregious enough. I'm just saying,
You have to gather the facts.
you have to establish a pattern for the law, right? Patterns and incidents, right? So you don't want feelings, and you want to show a consistent pattern. So if Governor DeSantis just comes out and says, well, Disney's gone woke and we're going to do this, and that's the only thing he says, and they immediately file a lawsuit, that's not enough. They're going to get thrown out of court.
Right.
Because even though Disney might be correct
Right.
in his intentions to retaliate against them, against First Amendment grounds, one slip of the tongue isn't going to make a court case.
Right.
No judge is going to be like,
Unless
that's
it's
enough.
discrimination or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And even then it's, it better be blatant.
Yeah, yeah.
So what they have done is they've let all this, they've been quiet.
They've let him talk.
They've let them talk. Let the people talk. I always say and I sometimes tell management this. It's like, well, this person is just saying rude things. Document it. Let them know it's rude, but keep letting them talk. Now you have these documented incidents, and you could say, well, on April 1st, this person did this. April 10th, this person did this. And so by the time we get to the end of the month, we might have enough to cut the cord, but you also have everything documented.
Yeah.
Right? And so if they try to go for a wrongful termination lawsuit, it's like, we got a file. And not only do we have a file, we have statements from fellow staff members, or, we have witnesses, or from clients, or from whoever. And it's all in chronological order. You can even put it in an Excel sheet if you want. And you just hand it over. And so when somebody comes to you with discovery, like this person says they were filed without cause, and then you just hit send, and you don't have to do any work, and it gets thrown out, and usually that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And it saves you and your company a lot of money and a lot of time. And that's what Disney did. They just let them talk. They let them thump his chest, and then now they have all this
Yeah.
this
And it's more than just
documentation.
the talking. It's the
actions,
actions
Yeah.
of the
Mhm.
whatever that
yeah,
they were trying to strike down that agreement
the agreement, yeah.
that board thing.
So you have to, for any type of lawsuit, you need two things, and and some lawyers won't even be able to tell you this. It just amazes me. You need negligence and damages. You have to have both. All right. It's not just a matter of somebody messing up, which is negligence.
And causation that
Yeah.
causes the damages. You have to prove causation.
Well, you have to prove that the damages were linked to the negligence, right? So if somebody messes up, it's like, oh my God, this guy, used the wrong type of, he used acidic soap on my car, but it didn't damage your car.
Mm-hmm.
He was negligent, but what are your damages?
Yeah, there's no damages.
There's no damages, right? Or this guy washed your car and then lightning hit your car the next day. Well, yeah, he may have used the wrong soap, but did he cause lightning to hit your car? No. So you have to connect the two, right?
Right.
And so it's kind of like they were waiting for the damages. So they probably already had a good pattern of negligence probably a few months in, because they were going, DeSantis was going on news.
Probably more than negligence. It's like
well,
intent.
It doesn't
right?
matter.
Which is a higher bar.
Yeah. But they had that probably 3 months in.
Yeah.
They didn't have to wait a year for that.
Yeah.
But did they have damages? Not really. But now, if they're saying we're going to actually block legitimate agreements that were made legally by your own laws, by Florida law, and you're saying that we can't do that, and stuff that could hinder our operations, you have damages.
Yep.
Right? Because now you could say, well, if they do this, it takes power away
I think it
from
was
the-
he was saying building a prison, using that money to build
Yeah.
a prison right
and now
next
they're
to Disney World.
threatening you.
So that's like he's like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
that does hinder our business.
Yeah. So there's that. So they have the damages, but they also have the First Amendment, saying like, and then they do have somebody, one of the board members on tape says, yeah, if you got, and I think this was her actual quote, you got me, this is against one company. And so they have all of these things, and they have some of the best lawyers in the world that are just quietly documenting all this. So when they give this to the court, Disney is going to have to counterpunch each one of those points.
Yeah, the complaint.
So
yeah.
it's not just like, okay, well, DeSantis said this, in January of 2022. And then it's like they can explain that away. Okay, here's the other 100 things he
Yeah.
said. Here's another 200 things his subordinates said.
Yeah.
Here are another 500 actions they took. Here's what they're doing now. And they're going to have to
Respond
counterpunch
to each point.
every one of those points. They're going to have to respond to. And some of these things are on freaking television. And so it's like, and here's the thing, and I'll be honest, DeSantis doesn't care.
No, he doesn't. care.
DeSantis just wants for people who like him and people who agree with his politics to see that he's taking the fight to Disney.
Yes.
To woke culture or whatever.
Yes.
Right? He doesn't actually care if he wins or loses.
Right. He probably won't even be here.
Yeah, he probably won't even. By the time this is settled, he probably won't even be in office.
Yeah.
I think he can only be in office another 4 years anyway. So to him, even if his lawyers advised him early on that this is ultimately a losing cause in 10 years and it's
Yeah.
going to cost Florida money, he don't care. He's not going to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like when I was saying Chapek was making a lot of dumb decisions in the short term. Well, he was 61 when he was making them. He wasn't going to be with Disney
Yeah.
to see the long-term effects of these things.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, we're kind of at the beck and call and the mercy of a lot of old men. And because they know that they're not going to be here to see the damage that they wrought. But I think Disney has a lot of points and a pretty good solid case, and I'm sure their lawyers have put together a very fantastic package. We're going to see what's going to happen because here's the thing, and this is another thing that it comes with being very powerful corporation, and this is what a lot of people don't think of. A lot of people think, well, usually when states get sued, it goes to like a judge that was appointed in their state, and it's going to a federal judge because it's First Amendment issues. Here's the thing. There's lots of federal judges. It could be assigned to anybody, just like a school teacher gets assigned certain students she may want or not want. typically what's happened a lot in the past, depending on your influence, it does influence the judges who assign do assignments. The judiciary, they're not entirely impartial or unbiased. They know if they assign it to this judge, kind of if this judge was appointed by Trump, this judge was appointed by Bush, this judge was appointed by Clinton, this judge was appointed. They know how that judge is going to favor. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what being a big company does. It can say, well, this is Disney. We want to make sure they get a fair shot. They've donated to my cousin's campaign. The judge that got assigned to this was appointed by Obama, which is huge.
Did they appoint a judge already?
Yeah.
Oh.
The judge is going to be looking at. Now, it's going to get appealed, and whoever loses is going to appeal.
I think they're going to settle. Everybody settles.
Well, no. DeSantis can't settle if he's going to look like a loser. This is a political thing for him. It's not about winning or. You have to understand. If he loses in this round, he's going to just appeal it, right? And that's fine with Disney because it's kicking the can down the road for them. They get to do business as usual. They just want to win this first round.
So that agreement will be. Well, I guess the urgent thing is whether that agreement that gave the current board no power at all.
Yeah.
Is that going to stay until this matter is settled?
Well, and that depends on the first judge who looks at it, who was appointed by Obama, not Trump. And that's a huge win. That in itself is a huge win for Disney.
Yeah.
Because this person's not going to be like a DeSantis cheerleader.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying he's going to be unfair, but I'm just saying his bias, everyone has
on paper, he has a bias.
If there is a bias, it's not going to be with DeSantis.
Right.
And to say somebody is totally unbiased is untrue. All human beings have a bias.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but officially, that's what judges are supposed to be for. On paper, he's
correct. Correct. And so everybody kind of says Disney has a case. This one got assigned to an Obama judge, and if the Obama judge throws it out, all the stuff that DeSantis is trying to do, and sides with Disney, business as usual for Disney. DeSantis, the state of Florida, is going to have to appeal, which could take time. But every appeal just means Disney gets to do what he wants because the first decision of the first judge is what's going to stand unless an appellate court overrules it.
Right.
So, that's a big deal, and we'll see what happens. And who knows? I mean, it's interesting from a legal standpoint, but. Hopefully it doesn't harm the community too much in the interim, with all this back and forth. All right.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
Well, this week is another week of drinks for Taste Talk. We had this really good and interesting beer. It's by the brewery. And it's called Horchata.
They call it horchata.
Oh, horchata. Oh, it's O-R space X-A-T-A.
Yeah.
So horchata, blonde ale.
Because you actually never went up and ordered it yourself.
No,
so I only knew I know
how they pronounce. Oh,
you only know how they spell it.
Yeah, I know how to spell it. Horchata blonde ale. It has an ABV of 7.2%. But it's not an IPA, and that's what we like. We like ale. We don't like IPAs because they're bitter. But we like ale that has a high alcohol content.
Yeah, usually only the higher alcohol content of the IPAs.
Yeah.
But this is an ale, just like Brother Thelonious is a Belgium ale.
Yeah.
This is a blonde ale. And it was really good because I tried it. It
has like a cinnamony taste, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some cinnamon aftertaste, but it's not super strong.
Yeah, it's not heavy.
No. It's a lot lighter than Brother Thelonious.
Yes.
And since we've been eating less, that's good.
Yeah.
Because I can drink one of these. It's still, Brother Thelonious has a super high alcohol content. I think it's like 9.4. Yeah. But your typical beer has usually about 5%. And sometimes even 4 point something.
Yeah.
And so that's a big deal because, look, I don't want to drink a lot.
Right.
I just want to feel a lot.
So yeah, this
Somebody
perfect.
asked me, "Are you a big drinker?" I'm like, "No, I'm just,
You will take
I'm
a
big,
shot?
I'm a big buzzer."
Yeah. So you'll just like if there's just a hard liquor, you'll just take a shot instead of like holding some cocktail.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll just take a shot, get it over with.
Yeah.
There, done.
yeah.
So that's why we like Brother Thelonious and these other beers as
Yeah.
high content, but
I'm
light
not,
in
I'm not
like
the type of
volume.
guy who can go to a party. And even when I was in my I don't want to say my teenage years because that was technically illegal. But in my younger years, I was never somebody who could like down 4 beers.
Yeah.
I in my life, I've never been that guy.
Mhm.
You know, I was the kind of guy who would be at like, I threw keg parties, and that's how I paid my way through junior college. but I'd be at a party and I would hold the same beer the whole time just to have something in my hand. You know what I mean? I was never a big drinker, but yeah, if I'm going to Disney and I want to kind of enjoy it and
Just
and-
like
and-
one
and
beer
feel it,
and
yeah, and I
yeah.
could have a beer, and that's great. I'd
Yeah.
rather fill my stomach up with corn dogs and churros or something. So, well, churros are more your speed, but yeah, sweet stuff.
Now that I know I can make it at home, I don't really get it.
you
at
like
Disney.
sweet stuff though,
Yeah, I
you like
do.
desserts.
I like desserts, but not when they're too. Churros, perfect.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yes, this was really good, but it was during the Food and Wine Festival in the beer garden. So this was our last weekend to try it, to enjoy it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we enjoyed it. Just thought we'd give it a shout out and maybe on the next festival, which won't be until Christmas, huh?
Yeah, holiday food festival, which is weird. I've always thought it was weird that the Lunar New Year festival and
The
the
food
and the food
and
festival are
wine,
so
so
close
close.
together, because they're usually, I think, after the Lunar New Year festival ends, it's only like 2 weeks or so until the other
Yeah,
ones start.
it's it's like but I guess they just want the summer to be free of anything for
Which-
other special stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess, and I don't know how much effort it. Well, I think probably is a staffing thing too.
Yeah,
Because you do have to have extra staff for these things, because these are basically tiny restaurants that
right.
don't exist any other time of year.
Yeah,
So you do have to hire more people. So I could see the logistical thing. So if you have somebody, if you hired like a bunch of people for the Lunar New Year,
mm-hmm.
you could just keep them on
Yeah,
and not have to lay off and then rehire.
right.
So that makes sense.
And then for the summer, they expect larger crowds, things like that. So they want to keep their staff fully staffed, or there's
Yeah,
there's like temp summer jobs.
Yeah, because
Where
there's
they can
people
come and-
calling in sick. There's people going on summer
Yeah.
vacation. There's people who are, in the military reserves, believe it or not, who are
Yeah.
they have to go during the summer,
Mhm.
and so all their main revenue streams, you just want to make sure they're staffed. They want to make sure the stores are staffed and the restaurants that are like brick and mortar are staffed.
Yeah.
So
So they don't want to have extra food festivals to just
Yeah.
break up their staffing.
that makes sense. It's that's speculation on our part, but that makes sense.
Yeah. I just like wondering why there's no.
Because you would think a summer food festival would just be off the chain. It'd be great, right?
But they want to reserve it for other special
Yeah.
things in the summer. And
Yeah.
so,
Mhm.
it makes sense. So the second drink is something Christina had, and it's something that's known in California and DCA especially because it's California, but we've had it once over at some special food festival at the where they used to have Ms. Marvel or Captain Marvel's plane.
Mm.
But she had the michelada.
Yeah.
Michelada. I don't know how to say it.
Well, what's in this one? I want to make sure because
Michelada mango cart. It's michelada with Golden Road mango cart wheat.
okay, because the one that I had over there had tequila in it.
So that's not really a michelada, I don't think.
Yeah, it had
It
that.
just had tahine.
Yeah, it had the
So
tahine.
we have a lot of tahine. I think what people Disney World park goers say is in California, in DCA, we have tahine and everything. Yes, we do. Because it's a Southern California thing.
Yeah.
We put tahine in everything. So, yes, it's basically...
Well, not everything, but I mean, we do. It's like we have more churros. I mean, we share
Yes.
a border
Churro,
with Mexico.
tahine,
It's
yes.
just common sense.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like we have a huge. The reason why our things are everything ride on Disney, the safety precautions are translated into Spanish.
Yes.
It doesn't almost every ride. I
Yeah.
think even on the trams.
Yeah.
So it's Mexican culture is a huge part of California culture. It's just
Yeah.
you can't separate the two.
So it's basically like a michelada is basically just is beer, lime juice, spices, which is the tahine, and in this case, the beer is the mango cart.
Yeah.
Wheat beer.
And it was
So
pretty good.
I tasted it. Christina let me taste hers, and it was sour and salty and beery all at the same time, and it just makes our mouth salivate. But when I first took a sip, I was like, "Whoa!" But it's really like strong taste,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is what a michelada is.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go to
Oh, Dot Points Disney. Remember when we were there on April 15th? Poor Murphy. His name's Murphy, or her name. The Maleficent Dragon
yeah.
caught fire. The whole thing caught on fire, and there was this huge blaze and black smoke. But we were back at the hotel by then because it happened during the Fantasmic show, the later showing of the Fantasmic show, and then people were evacuated like from that area.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about the 6 cast members who had to go to the hospital for smoke inhalation.
Yeah. Because that smoke was thick and black. It was nasty.
Yes. So we got word that it's Fantasmic is paused at least through May 14th.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know more. I mean, for sure the dragon is gone, R.I.P. Murphy, but they need to if they redo or start Fantasmic again on May 15th, they'll probably do it without the dragon. Like the show goes on without
But
Murphy.
it's kind of weird because it's kind of the finale. I mean,
I know it'll just because sometimes they.
I mean,
have
I
the
know
finale without
I mean,
him.
the finale is basically the characters on the boat
Yeah.
coming by. I mean, I know that's the finale, but this is kind of like the slaying of the dragon by Mickey is the big.
I know, huh?
Yeah, I don't. What are they gonna replace it with? I don't know. Kylo Ren? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like Kylo Ren. Sometimes there's no Kylo Ren there, and you're just like, bye.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I know last week we said they would pause all the other Maleficent dragon at Disney World that blows
Mhm.
smoke, just in case it's had to do with something the
A
same
mechanical
kind of
failure.
mechanical failure, and they don't want another dragon burning, and then it's like a safety issue. So, we'll see. We'll see if it'll come back or not. The stage is a little damaged, but that's what I'm thinking they're fixing before May 15th. But
Okay.
yeah. And then the second thing is live action Ariel's coming to Disneyland and Disney World this summer. She's going to be near Small World at Disneyland.
And I always say, well, I mean, I asked you, like, is it going to be fins or feet?
It's feet. Because they showed a picture when
And then that's basically just a girl.
her girl named Ariel.
Yeah, but
And maybe Eric.
I want to see fins.
I know, like animation Ariel is always in fins.
Yeah.
And speaking of, during Fantasmic, when all the princes come out,
Mhm.
she's in a fin, so she can't leave because, okay, the boat comes out and then the dragon catches fire, right? The dragon's on fire. So what they do with her is she can't walk away and hide from the fire. So they put like one of those fireman blanket over her.
Mhm.
So she's in that boat with the thing over her
For safety.
for
yeah.
safety because she's in fins. She can't walk. I was like, why don't someone just put her in a wheelchair and wheel her away? That's kind of dangerous for her to just stand there with the fireman's blanket over her
Yeah.
or sit there.
That's
Anyways,
interesting.
that's what they do. There is a behind the scenes thing where you can see it.
Hope she gets hazard pay.
I know. But anyways,
And that's even in the song, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like, you know,
what's
the-
wrong?
down in the sea, da 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 da. You know, but when they're talking about how up on the land the fish ain't happy because he's trapped in a bowl, but
Oh,
but the
yeah.
fish in the bowl is lucky. He's in for a worse of fate. Because one day when the boss get hungry,
Oh, yeah.
guess who gonna be on the plate? And they say,
Yes.
under the sea, and then they talk about being fried. Like
Oh,
we
yeah,
don't get
that's right.
fried. If the fish on the surface get fried, and the fish in the
Yes. Ariel's.
yeah, that's like a
Although the tail's is kind of bony in a fish. You know, like when I eat fish with my family, the big fish,
That is the
I
most
fight for the head part.
Vietnamese comment you could have made in this entire podcast.
You know me, I always think of food. Everything translates back to food for me. Yes, if Ariel was on a plate,
We're
she
not going
wouldn't
to
be
eat
good.
Ariel, Tracy. Come on.
Just the tip.
That's half
If
cannibalistic.
you had to eat a whole fish, the tip is you go
She's
for
not a whole
the
fish. She's
front
half
part.
a fish.
That's why her tail's not good because it's all bones.
Okay. Okay. We get it.
Go for the head.
No, don't do that.
But her
Oh.
head's human, so it's not
Yes.
fish. So it's not good anyways.
That's
That's what I'm saying. Don't eat Ariel.
Oh, my wife, the most unintentionally funny podcaster on earth.
Told you when I see the ducks at Disneyland, I think of food.
Okay, I know.
And my mom's like, no, they're not good because they walk around. They're supposed to sit in one place. Then they're more tender. I was like, oh, okay.
No, she's like, tell Brian that.
Tell Brian those ducks aren't good because they walk too much.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Anyways, human Ariel live
Disney
action.
animation.
Yes.
Wish is coming November.
Yes.
What's that?
It's a movie called Wish. Did you see the
Oh.
trailer?
No.
It looks interesting. It'll be a new Disney animation movie. You know, I guess since Encanto, a
Yeah.
new one since Encanto, but you know, so let's see if it
I
is
maybe
as big
did
as
something
Frozen.
about it during the one of their, you know, collages of stuff. So I think I did hear about it, but every time I hear Wish, I think of those ships.
Yeah, we all thought it was. I think Hannah said she thought the movie was about a cruise. 'Cause the
Hey,
Wish. But then
be
they
cool.
showed the.
that's a good answer for our contest. If you're still listening, maybe you have a prince or a princess is just on a ship. That's it.
Isn't that kind of like Ariel?
No, because she's in the water on the ship. A princess that was born on a ship and stayed on
Oh.
a ship.
That's funny. No, this is about I think making wishes or something. But the trailer came out and it wasn't about a cruise or something. It's I think a place or something about wishes. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the entire
But
trailer.
it's coming out. It's a new movie.
It's a new Disney animation movie coming out in November.
Cool. And speaking of movies, I mean, we're almost done, but let me give you guys some homework. You guys, go watch Peter and Wendy on Disney Plus.
Go watch it because you're not
that's good.
watching it.
Well, I'm gonna give everyone a time because that's probably going to be an upcoming spoiler review that we're gonna do.
That deserves a spoiler review.
Well, yeah, because I don't have to go to a theater to watch it. I might as well do it.
Oh, okay.
So- and why wouldn't it deserve it? It's Peter Pan. I mean,
We'll see if it's good.
yeah. A spoiler review doesn't mean the movie's good. We can give a spoiler review.
Oh,
and
that's
say,
true.
You know, it just means that
Peter and
we
Wendy.
watched it. Yeah, Peter and Wendy. So go out there and that way, if you won't be spoiled when we do it. And if we do it in a few weeks or probably sometime in May, and we'll, like any other spoiler review, we'll have a prize and you will be eligible. But if you're the type of person who doesn't like to be spoiled and you didn't watch it, you're not going to do it and you won't be eligible for that prize and you're going to cry. So, all right. Well, that's it for us today. We're going to have some announcements tomorrow. We'll be back at the parks next week. We'll have a podcast before then.
Yes.
And hopefully, unless
Well, we're
work
supposed to
piles
have it
up.
Thursday. Otherwise, we'll have it Friday morning. We have a lot to do. We have to go see Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, on Friday.
Yeah.
And we got Guardians of the Galaxy on Friday.
Then we meet our cousin.
Me and our cousin who's getting married. I'm taking her and her fiance out to dinner. And then it's my birthday, which kind of
So
trumps
we
everything.
kind of have to do it on Thursday.
Yeah. It's either going to be Thursday or Monday, so we'll see. But we will have some, the winner of our Princess Silhouette backpack drawing tomorrow, and the announcement of our Chalk.
Chalk/200/Splash Mountain giveaway.
Correct. All right. I think that's it for now. I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.